I wanted to ask you first how important it has been to have that full week now to recover and rest and train before this game on Friday.
Well, I would say it's been really, really nice, especially like coming and having a break off from football, and I think it's been good for the girls as well to switch off and have other things to think about, and then coming back and be sharp and have great sessions. So yeah, it's been really, really good.
Do you notice a difference in the energy when the players have had an opportunity to kind of not do football for a couple of days and then come back to training?
Yes. Even if I think they've been doing really well before, there's a little bit of a difference, yes.
Obviously, it wasn't that long ago that we played Glasgow City. This is a crucial game in the league for us. What were your main takeaways from that game, and what did you learn going into the game tomorrow?
Like I've said before, Glasgow City is a great team. We have huge respect for them. We know, like I said before, we know their threats, and we know also how to exploit them. And I think we could have seen that in the game as well. So I think it's going to be a tough, even game. But I also do believe that the girls should be confident going into that game, because I think this is the games that we want to play, and this is the games that we should be very excited for.
How much do you think about how you might have to adapt mid-game for a game like this? Obviously, we saw a sort of a game of two halves last time when Glasgow City made some changes and then kind of changed their tactics a bit. How much are you thinking about that for tomorrow?
To be honest, before that game, we trained the trainings that we had before that game, that we thought they were going to play a 4, which they didn't do first half, but the players were brilliant in adapting into their shape, and they did really, really well. So second half, I think we knew what we were supposed to do, and I think that's something that we're easy to adapt, but I don't think that was the main part of why we lost the game, and that is just what I think.
Do you think that the disappointment of losing that game against Glasgow City kind of fuels yourself and the players a bit for the game tomorrow in terms of mindset?
Well, I think if it fuels, it should, yes, because we always want to get back on and we always want to do better. So yes, but also I think we need to be confident, because it was a good game, and we did a really good first half, like everybody saw. So yeah, like I've said, I'm really, really excited for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great game, and I know that the players are ready to play that game as well.
We obviously have new players coming in and starting to be integrated into the squad. Does that give you more of a challenge in picking your starting 11 tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at when we played Dundee United last time, we had Amy G not in the squad, Lucy not in the squad, and then we had Emma Vesti not in the squad. So to pick out the squad for this game has not been easy, but that's what is the best job being a coach, is when the players makes it very difficult for you to choose, and that also shows the competition we have in the team.
Yeah, and are all those players you mentioned back fit and available for tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, and is anyone not fit that was fit?
Shouldn't be, no.
Okay. Saoirse, Elena just talked about that competition. How good is it for you to have Abby Harrison coming in? The kind of competition for places has been talked about, and how are you pushing each other on a bit?
Yeah, look, I think even before Abby was in, I think competition was really high for that position that I'm in. Obviously Abby's a more similar player to me, so if anything it's helped me improve my game, because we're able to work off each other and we play similar. So I think it's only a positive, and it can only benefit the team going forward.
You've obviously scored a lot of goals this season for the team. A goal against Glasgow City has eluded you, I think, so far. Are you keen to put that right tomorrow?
Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day that's my job, to score goals. So and we need goals to win games. So yeah, tomorrow definitely, hopefully I can get on the score sheet. But to be honest, I don't really care who scores it once we win the game.
And just talking again about the in-game adaptations that Elena was talking about, how do you kind of work with that? How do you enjoy being able to do that with this team and with your teammates?
Yeah, I think it's something we speak about a lot. When we went in our mid-season trip to Gran Canaria, we spoke about how we can do it as a team on the field, and it's something the staff keep encouraging us to do. So yeah, I think a lot of our frustration from the last game against Glasgow was that we didn't, I suppose, play to our level and adapt quick enough, and we've learned from it, and it's just unfortunate that we didn't learn from it during the game. But yeah, it's definitely something that we'll take with us and move forward with now going into tomorrow.
We're obviously coming up to an international break as well. Are you keen to kind of catch the eye of the Ireland squad and get back into international football?
Well, yeah, it's been called, so not
Yeah.
making that squad has been a bit upsetting. But look, it's all about Celtic right now. I feel like I'm playing every week and I'm enjoying it, and yeah, look, I'm scoring. That's the striker's role. So I feel like that's all I can do is my job, and then it's their decision at the end of the day.
And this is a good place for you to be to kind of showcase that.
Yeah, exactly. I think all the staff and all the girls are great to be around and keep me going. And yeah, look, I've one focus now, and that's tomorrow's game, and that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Helen. I just wanted to ask you about these Friday night games, 2 in a row. Do you like a Friday night game?
I mean, I think it's very enjoyable when it comes to playing evening games. I think it's just, I feel like it's been a long time since we played on a Sunday now, or it feels like a forever ago, but I do feel like I'm more a Sunday, because then we have a longer week and you can take the time to, but I'm really excited for the occasion when it comes to what kind of games we played. We played against Dundee United in a great stadium, and now we play against a great opponent, so I think it's more about, who we play and where we play, and for me it's just a normal game, so it's going to be a great night, evening, and hopefully we get a great result with us.
Well, speaking to Leanne Ross yesterday, she spoke about kind of every game from now on feels a little bit like a title decider, given how close the league is. Are you in the kind of same mindset?
I think what we've been spoken in-house is that we need to focus on every training, and then when we come to the game, we focus on that game. And our task and our focus should be focus on the role that you have, focus on the task, and make it as good as possible, and then that's the focus, winning the game. And then everything else is not important unless we have the game in front of us.
Yeah, so I guess how do you then balance that pressure? Obviously this is a big game against a title rival, but there's still a split to come with so many more points available. So how do you balance the pressure of a big game that you want to win, maybe need to win, but also knowing that if you all play 2 more times anyway?
I think it just comes to not looking too much ahead, because we can't control that part. What we can control is what did we learn against Glasgow City last time, how can we execute it better, and then that's the focus. And then obviously we always want to win games, so we just need to set our mind into winning that game, and everything else is not important for now.
Yeah, I guess with that game, which you talked about Leanne Ross making some of those tactical changes, we see you do it a lot as well. Obviously the game is played by the players in the pitch, but how much do you as a manager enjoy those tactical battles against other managers in the league?
I mean, that's something that is always, something good to be aware of. But I think how we've been training and how much games we've been playing, we know how to defend against a 3, how to defend against a 4, and we still need to focus on what we need to do, because we know how to defend. We've showed it in Champions League, we've showed it domestically. We know how to play attacking football, so we just need to focus on ourselves. And then obviously, if I see changes, I try to help the players, there. But otherwise, I think my players are very smart and very adaptable. So I really believe that no matter what, we can adapt and we can do it and focus on us.
Okay, thanks. Saoirse, obviously, Claire mentioned the Highland squad there. So when you've kind of seen on social media, maybe a lot of people kind of backing you for the squad, does that give you motivation?
To be honest, I haven't really read into it too much. Obviously, I've spoken with family and stuff and a few of the girls, and it's been nice for them reaching out. But yeah, look, I think I'm doing my job here and I'm enjoying it, and my focus is with Celtic, and that's all it can be. As I said, it's not my decision. I haven't heard from the manager, so I just have to keep trying to do what I do. And the quality that's in there is brilliant, but I think I'm scoring goals and I'm playing week in, week out, and as I said, my focus is just on Celtic.
You are scoring a lot of goals, I think you've got over 20 of the season. How much are you chasing that top scorer with against the Kate Wilkins and Rangers?
Yeah, look, I think a few of the girls again have mentioned it to me in the squad, and I think she's a few ahead of me or something. But at the end of the day, if we win the league title, I don't think anyone really looks at that. So yeah, it's definitely a bonus. But we see again at the weekend against Dundee the amount of girls that are scoring goals for our team, and we only looked at stats last week of all the different players that have scored goals. I think it was 20 players nearly scored
21
goals or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, obviously it's a personal kind of goal in the background, but it's not the main focus.
I just wanted to ask in terms of that kind of style of play with you as a striker, how do you feel, I guess, that you fit into this in terms of, do you want to be kind of like in the box striker, or do you like kind of that dropping in maybe and linking it with play?
Yeah, look, I think I've adapted my game a bit, and the girls have adapted their game a bit to try find a happy balance, and we're definitely learning each game. I think originally I would be more of a player that would prefer to drop in, but with the quality in the squad, I don't think I need to do that, and I just need to try stay in the box. And yeah, look, at the end of the day, my job is to be in there and be ready for anything that gets put in, which the girls have been doing brilliantly. So yeah, I think I just need to stick to my task tomorrow, and hopefully I can get one or two.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Elena, what would a win against Glasgow City do for you tomorrow night?
What it will do that we've done our task, and that is trying to win the game. I think for me, we cannot look overhead. Like, I understand that all the games that we have in front of us now is going to be tight, it's going to be very important, but we're so far away from the last game of the season, and the only thing that we focus on is that game, and we're going to do everything we can to win that game. And then next job is recovery, get back to training, and try to win the next one.
Psychologically though, do you think it's important that you're picking up wins against the top teams that are going to be your rivals for the title?
Well, that's very needed if we want to win the league, so yes.
But in a psychological sense, do you feel as though it's important that it's almost a kind of statement win, whoever comes out on top tomorrow night?
I think if you talk about statements, I think if you look at the previous game that we played against them, I think, I don't know, looking at the chances we created and how the game went, I think we can absolutely learn and do better. And obviously they can do the same thing, but I still believe a lot in the squad I have and the players I have, and I know that we can even step up further than we have. I've said it before, we haven't really reached our full potential yet, so I'm really excited to see how we can take the next step tomorrow.
How do you realise that full potential?
How do I realise? Like how I can see it?
Potential, yeah. How do you get there?
Well, train more.
Okay, and can I just ask you about Saoirse's omission from the Ireland squad? Were you surprised, given the amount of goals that Saoirse scored this season for Celtic?
Sorry, was that a question for me?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yes, for you. I
Sorry.
was wondering, were you surprised that Saoirse wasn't selected for the Ireland squad?
I mean, I would say, like, if Saoirse has been doing as good as she has, probably she should get a chance to show how good she has been and how lot she has improved since joining Celtic, because I remember her first joining and where she is right now, and I've said first, and I think you can agree that you're still not reach your full potential, you can do more, but she's still brilliant and she scored a lot of goals, which a striker should do. So I think she should have get the chance to show how far she's come since last time she was in Ireland, and then maybe take a decision after that.
Saoirse, have you had any dialogue at all with the FBI? Has anyone said, look, you're not in the squad now, but maybe this is what you have to do, or this is, you've been in consideration?
No.
Nothing at all. Is that surprising to you?
A little bit, but look, I haven't been in the squad in the last year, and it's a new manager, so yeah, it's out of my control.
Hi Elena, how much does the sort of winning the league last season give you that sort of confidence and mental boost that you can go all the way this season? Obviously we're into the sort of last part of the season. Does that give you an extra confidence that you and the players can push on and get another league try?
Obviously, I think winning the league makes it, for me, like when I talk about myself, it's like we want to do it again. So we want to do it again. We want to push to be as good as possible, because I think it's also different, like coming from the league that was last season towards coming to this season. We've had a different build-up, if you look at that. We said it in-house, like, and it's not an excuse, like, not at all, but I think that's why we haven't reached our full potential yet, is because we've not had the time to train together and, you know, train with principles and make sure that we can work with details that the players need to improve all the time. Like, we haven't really worked with how can we make sure that the players develop and have the IDP. We started with that, and then the Champions League came along. So I'm not getting any excuses, but we've played so many games, and I think every game that we've been playing, we've been growing and growing and growing, and that's something that right now it's more about, okay, we've been growing and we've been performing better and etc. But get away from Champions League domestically, like now the task, how can we win the next game? And that's the focus.
Yeah, you speak about the growth of sort of Celtic, and do you think there's obviously Celtic and you are the first sort of squad and manager to get to the Champions League, and the league is a lot more tight this season with a lot more teams sort of on the upper half. Do you think that shows that the SWPL as a whole is sort of growing?
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously when we talk about the quality getting better, which is a great thing because the competition then gets even, which is also better for all the teams, because then you need to be at your best to beat or win all the games that you have in front of you. And obviously I also think it's a great idea that we go from 12 to 10 next season as well, which will make it the competition even better. So the Scottish League is improving, and I think we've showed as well that we can compete out in Europe against the best teams. So obviously there's big talent and big quality here in the teams in Scotland. So we're definitely taking steps, and that's something that is very important for the whole league and the Scottish football.
Saoirse, what has it been like this whole season under the sort of pressure to win every game with Celtic, and obviously no slip-ups can sort of be afforded? And how much do you think is a sort of mental boost with this win give you, being at sort of at the very least 2 points at the top of the league?
Yeah, look, I think we probably put pressure on ourselves more than listening to the pressure from the outside. We know we're expected to win most games, but we also expect it from ourselves. So I think that's probably one of the hardest things, is that we probably do put too much pressure on ourselves to win every game, and there are going to be moments that you make little slip-ups and stuff, and that's part of sport, that's part of life. But I think this team has shown time and time again about how we bounce back and how we react to situations that might not go our way. So yeah, look, tomorrow to us is just another game, same as Dundee was last week. We treat every game the same, and I think in our training sessions it's been so competitive. It just allows us to come out to the game and bring that into the game. So yeah, obviously getting points on the board tomorrow will definitely give us a boost, as it would to anyone. But as I said, this team has just shown the growth it's made, and I think we were sitting fifth there for a while and people were putting question marks over us, and then in 2 games we're level top. So yeah, look, I think there's loads of games left to be played, but we just take each as it comes.
And referring back to the game against Glasgow City earlier in the month, do you take anything from that game as personally to work on for this one?
Take my chances, I think, is definitely one. I think they don't come around too often, so you have to ensure you do take them. And then I suppose game management, we've spoke about it, that we train for different situations that could happen, and I think we were just probably that little bit too slow to adapt and to manage it ourselves, and we were kind of waiting for it to change, and it didn't, and unfortunately the game went against us, and we got that defeat. But yeah, so we'll definitely take that and move on from it now, but we're definitely going to take all the positives and the negatives from the game and bring them into tomorrow.